Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about your property business and your children. What can you claim? What can you benefit from? How can you make it work for you and your family? Hi, I'm Kimberly Shapcott, qualified chartered accountant, property investor and entrepreneur. Welcome to my channel, Kimberly Shapcott, Property Tax and Accountancy. Let's sit down and have a chat. Property and children. Let's have a look today at how we can make our property business work for our family. Now, we've talked in separate videos about inheritance tax, so check those out for that side of things and how that works with you and your family. Today I really want to focus on the claims you can make, the benefits available, and how you can structure things to make the most of your property business with your family, your children, to make the most of it. So let's start when they're very little and when they first arrive into the family. And the first thing that you can do is obviously claim child benefit. Child benefit, you can find out the information on the .gov.uk website. As you can see, you can get it for a child up to 16. It's available to be paid every 4 weeks, and one person can get the child benefit. So if you are a separated couple or a split couple, you need to make sure only one of you is claiming it. But if you are a couple together, one of you will claim it for the child. What you'll get is the amount that is available at the moment, and this will be seen on each year on the .gov.uk website, and you can see when it changes, potentially in April each year. Eligibility wise, you'll be able to see that most people are able to claim it. The main thing is to do with the income limits. If you are or your partner earn over 50,000. That's the crucial element here, to make sure if you are over that, it will restrict it. If in your property business you can structure it so you're not going to be over that, then you can make full use of the claim and look at increasing your income at an appropriate point as the kids get a little bit older. How to claim, you just need to let them know, and as you can see here, for the first time you'll be able to make the claim for them on a CH2, and if I just go into that, you can print this form off or fill it in on screen and fill it in for additional children, and there is some notes there on how to do it. So please do make sure you're aware of those and you claim those. Normally as part of hospital packs, if it's your first child, they'll provide some of the different information for you as well, but just something so that hopefully it makes it nice and easy for you to deal with this. Check out the links in the information below, and there it will kind of give you all that information to get to the right places. However, there is a few requirements with child benefit, in that you can't earn more than 50,000 each as a couple, then you will lose some of that benefit. The opportunity when you have a property business or a property company especially is you can restrict your income. So if you don't actually need that income, you can restrict it to the 50,000 each, which then means you will be able to claim child benefit. So that's something, as they're born, you need to make sure you fill in the paperwork, and then you can make that claim to get whatever the amount is at the point in time you are making the claim. The next opportunity that is really great, that was introduced a number of years ago, is something called tax-free childcare. Now, tax-free childcare is something that is available for parents to put money on one side in a tax-free childcare account, and then they will top it up by 20%. Now, there is some eligibility criteria, so check those out on the Childcare Choices website, which you'll see in a second. And from there, you'll be able to see whether you are eligible for them, and then you'll be able to set up an account for each of your children and put some money in, and that can be then used to pay for childcare. So that could be nursery costs, it could be child's after school, before school events, and it could also be children's activities. So it's not just down to the actual childcare, it could be activities that they are doing that you may be able to claim for as well, to help just cut the cost by 20%. So we'll look at that in a little more detail when we go to the Childcare Choices website. So this is the Childcare Choices website. Now hopefully you can see that there's a few different things on here. So it's childcarechoices.gov.uk. Now on here you'll be able to see a whole host of different things. So you can select where you're living to make sure that you're in the right country. And then you can go down and see tax-free childcare, which is available from 0 to 11. So it's similar sorts of things to the child benefit, where if you're earning under 100,000, you're able to claim this. You can't be any other benefits, but that's obviously not the aim of the game. So it's just a matter of then clicking on here, and there's a few bits which tell you, is it for you and are you eligible, how you can use it, and it's great maybe for holiday clubs and after school, before school and things like that as kids get older. And you can also use it with some of the other options available. Another one that you can also claim is either 15 hours free childcare for 2-year-olds, or then there's 15 or 30 hours free childcare for 3-year-olds. So there's a few things here that are something to be aware of, which may help give you some time, especially if you're going out on viewing, so you can't always take the children with you. It'll just give you that capacity and also keep the cost down for looking after the children before they potentially start their school life, depending what choice you make in terms of their education. Now let us jump onto the Childcare Choices website, and we'll just take you through some of those bits so you can see where you need to go and what options may be available to you. Now the 15 hours free childcare is available to some, potentially not as useful to most people, but the 3 and 4-year-olds 15 hours, that's available to everybody. And then if you can top it up to the 30 hours, then that is a really great option as the kids are getting older, if you want to get them into some sort of environment to get them kind of communicating and socializing with others. And as you can see, there's a few different options there, and the is it for me shows you what you can use it for, and it's generally in daycare, nurseries, school nurseries, and different options. It doesn't cover certain aspects, as you can see here, but it covers quite a lot of the different aspects of the childcare. Then the final bits on the website are more the tax credits, universal credits, which is not what we're here to focus on today. It's more some of the other areas, as you hopefully have an income that you're generating from your property business. So check out the website, see what is available for you, and it's just a great way of making the most of what the government is offering us as individuals. As children get older, we then have the option of putting them on the payroll. So they could actually come and work for you as a property business. And this works really well if you are a property company, because you're probably on the payroll already. So you can add them onto your existing payroll and pay them when they're aged 13. And anyone over this can be on the payroll. There is restricted hours, so they can't work every hour God sends, because obviously they are still at school or in their educational environment, so they will need to do their studies. However, it's a way of starting to pay maybe pocket money for them to start helping within the business, whether it be doing paperwork, whether it be taking photos. There's a whole host of things that they may be able to support and help with. Especially these days as things are more digital, they may even be better at it than we are. Now, the main thing here is that they are paid a reasonable salary, so you can't suddenly be paying them 40,000 for doing 2 hours a week. That's not really a realistic or reasonable sort of figure, but have a look at what would be reasonable, and then you can make that claim, put that payroll through for them. As they then get older further, they may be able to then become shareholders of the company. And this is a really nice way of getting them involved in the business, and also a way of taking money and paying money directly to them. Now, in bringing them into the business, there may be some tax implications for that, and that'll be covered separately, and speak to your accountant if you need to make sure that you're considering how you would bring them into the company as a shareholder. But when they are a shareholder, what you'll be able to then do is vote them a dividend. And in voting them a dividend, that's a way of using their personal tax bracket, especially when they're maybe 16, 17, 18 or older. You can then be paying them a dividend directly, which is using their personal allowance rather than your personal allowance, which is obviously a benefit to you, because before you'd have had to take the money out, then get taxed on it, and then you do whatever it is with them or for them. Whereas when you pay a dividend directly to your child, which you can do obviously $2,000 at the moment, up to 0% tax, you would be able to pay that out to them, and then that is money that they could then use for trips. If they're at university, it might be accommodation costs at university, or potentially tuition fees, depending what they are paying out. So it's a great way of moving money to them in a tax efficient manner, or fully legally, and then that helps move the money around in the right way. Obviously, if they get more involved in the business, then you'll be able to look at how you remunerate them appropriately. If they're less involved in the business, it may just be an investment that you've in essence invested on their behalf, and it helps them for the future and you for the future from an inheritance tax point of view as well. Obviously, as an individual, they will have their personal allowance, whatever it is for that tax year. So if they're not fully utilising that, then there's actually more that could be paid out to them as a dividend, not just the 2,000. You could actually pay up to potentially 12, 13, 14,000, depending what profits are available in your business. Now, this is all restricted by the profits being made by your company, and you can't pay dividends out of anything. You have to have distributable reserves available to actually pay out. So that is just a precursor of something you need to be aware of before you think, oh, I can be paying my kids all 2,000 each and I don't need to worry about it. Yes, that's the case, but you may just need to consider what you are paying to yourself as well as what you are paying to your children. Hopefully today you've discovered what you can claim when you have your children, whether that be now or in the future as they grow up a little. Hopefully you feel confident to ask the questions to make sure you're making your business work for you and your family. Check out the links below to see what support you are eligible for to make it work for you and your family in your property business. Please like the video and do subscribe to the channel. Let's make tax less taxing.